Jeremiah 9:23 reads, "Let not a wise man boast of his wisdom. Let not the strong boast of their strength, or the rich boast of their riches, but let the one who boasts boast about this, that they understand and know me. I am the Lord who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on the earth." So one of the key things to grasp from this passage is that there's a difference between knowing and knowing about. The Hebrews use the word yada, to know, and it is also the word that is used, not just here, to know God. It's also the word that's used in Genesis to talk about Adam knew Eve and she conceived. So there's clearly some implied intimacy. It's the Greeks had this idea that you could know something academically, like you could be an ethics professor without being ethical in your real life. The Hebrews said, no, you could not be an ethics professor if you're not ethical, because you don't actually know ethics if you're not applying it. And so we are being called to a Hebrew, to a Jewish mindset on these things. So the Greeks, by the way, they're the ones that gave us sophistry. They had these teachers that were original spin doctors. They were good at rhetoric. They were good at persuasion, but they weren't necessarily honest or trustworthy people. And so part of the idea here that I want you to understand is that we are called to know God, and there is an intuitive sense to that. There's an experiential learning that comes with that. So I share all this to say that it's much easier to know about God, to have a list of his attributes, than it is to know God. But part of this whole knowledge crisis that we're being called to grow in our knowledge. It's going to be driven as the first source of authority. The primary source of authority is the Bible, but we are also called into a knowledge that's based on tradition, reason, intuition. Talk more next week when we get back, and we will look at knowing revelation. The knowledge that comes through revelation, the Word of God. Have a good weekend.